Hi everyone, my name is Shelby Hartman. I'm DoubleBlind's co-founder.
And I'm Mary Carreón, and I'm DoubleBlind's editor-in-chief.
And today we're here to talk to you about the illegal Shroom marketplace. So before we get into that, I want to name that we haven't been here for a while and we missed you. I missed you.
We missed you.
So we're back. And you may or may not recognize the face of this beautiful woman here. She is a psychedelic journalist who has been reporting on psychedelics and cannabis for a long time, and I'm very honored to say is stewarding DoubleBlind forward as our new editor-in-chief. I stepped back last year to take care of myself, do some psychedelics, and also get back into reporting and journalism, which is why I began DoubleBlind in the first place and is really where my heart is. And one of the things that I worked on last year is this beautiful little thing right here. It's DoubleBlind's first book and also my first book, co-authored with DoubleBlind's other co-founder, Madison Margolin. And it's basically a coffee table version of our magazine. So if you've seen our magazine, it's, I like to think, really beautiful reporting, long-form journalism, poetry, photojournalism on psychedelics. And all of that is in here, as well as chapters on all of the major psychedelics to help you journey for the first time or go more deeply into your journey on psychedelics. So it's great for psychonauts, it's great for newbies, it's great as a gift. I'm totally pumping my own product here, but I also genuinely love it. And if you buy a copy, it's an amazing way to support our work here at DoubleBlind. And the last thing I'll mention is that also if you sign up for our membership, which includes workshops and classes and other things like that, you get a free copy of the book.
It's honestly really stunning. Today was the first day I got to look at it, and it is mind-blowing. It's basically an extra long version of the magazine with some of the stories that were huge hits from the past and also a lot of new information as well. New photos, new art, everything. It's absolutely stunning. So also want to say congratulations. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you so much. And before we talk about the illegal Shroom marketplace, which is like, it's the Wild West out there, folks, truly. So we just want to give you the information that you need to understand what is going on out there. Can you tell us a little bit about you?
About me. Okay,
yeah, tell us your life story.
Yeah, so I was born in November of 1989.
What's your astrology sign?
I'm a Sagittarius. No, yes, I am actually a Sagittarius. But I actually, this means a lot to me. As of January 3rd, 2026, I have officially been reporting as a professional journalist working full-time for 10 years. So that is 10 years under my belt, and the majority of it has been reporting on alternative medicines, alternative plants. I actually like to refer to it as the legalization movements because there are many now, and there were many that have happened over the last 10 years, and I'm so honored that I've been able to capture and document this whole space and how it's grown and how it's evolved with all these plants and new medicines and new ways of thinking. Honestly, it's really ushered in a new paradigm in terms of how we take care of our health, in terms of our mental health, our physical health, everything. And I've really sat courtside for the whole thing, and I'm really honored and very passionate about the reporting that I've been able to do over the last 10 years. And grow as a person too. I've really grown a lot over the last 10 years working with these medicines as well. So I feel really honored, and yeah, it's really beautiful. I got started at OC Weekly, and shout out to OC Weekly and my editors and old mentors there. They are my original teachers who taught me the way. You know, I didn't go the traditional journalism route. I didn't go to Columbia Journalism School. I got my bootstrapped the whole thing basically by going the alt weekly route, which is another way that many people got their first journalism start. And that was how I did it. And I had really great mentors, and they showed me the way. And it's a testament to what they did for me and teaching me, because look where I am now. And also that's more than I could have ever imagined or fathomed where I'd be today. So I'm honored, and I love that I have been working this long in this space in a media field that is tumultuous and crazy, and it's a blessing, and I hope to continue to steward DoubleBlind through the thick and thin, and just continue to shepherd this thing forward.
And you're doing such an amazing job. So check out our newsletter if you want to catch our weekly journalism.
Yeah.
And I was like, how often does our newsletter come out? 2 times a week.
Yeah, three times a week.
3 times a week.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think the first time that I really realized what the heck was going on with the Shroom marketplace was when I was walking down on the Venice boardwalk. You and I both live in LA. That's where most of the DoubleBlind team is based. And I kid you not, I saw a sign next to the flip-flops and the magnets and the postcards that said, buy Shrooms here. And I was like, what? What do you mean buy Shrooms here? And I went into this shop that had all kinds of tourist tchotchkes, overpriced sunscreen. I mean, you name it, right? And sure enough, there was a glass case that had, chocolate bars and gummies and pre-rolled joints with probably the worst cannabis on planet Earth.
It's like THCA flower, or I guess all flour is THCA flower,
yeah,
but like CBD flower.
It's like the cannabis that I forgot I left in my parents' house from high school. It's so dry.
Yeah, hemp flower.
Right. And, and I was like, what is going on here? And so we were very honored at DoubleBlind to be the recipients. Well, one of our contributors was the recipient of the UC Berkeley Tim Ferriss Journalism Grant. If you know of Tim Ferriss, who wrote The 4-Hour Workweek and is a big psychedelic advocate, he gave a generous sum of money to UC Berkeley's journalism school to help fund psychedelic reporting. And one of our reporters, Webb Wright, got a grant to basically look into what the heck is going on with the underground shroom marketplace. And we sent a bunch of products. We bought products. We sent them to get tested. And what did we find out?
That none of the gummies or the chocolates or the mints or the drinks actually contained any real psilocybin in them.
Yeah, no psilocybin. Which is what if you're buying something that says shrooms on it, you would assume
that there would be psilocybin in it.
Right.
However, it's a little funky because there was psilocin in some of these, which psilocin is actually the compound that our body makes once we ingest the psilocybin mushrooms. Our bodies convert the psilocybin into psilocin, and that's actually what gives us the psychedelic experience. So we were wondering, how the hell does that actually happen? How can a product have psilocin in it randomly, and what does that mean, and why do some of these products have it and some of these products don't have it, and what's actually going on?
So can I stop you there quickly?
Yeah.
Was it psilocin?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know psilocin could be found I thought psilocin was just something that the body makes after psilocybin.
So 4-ACO transforms.
Right. So they detect they don't detect psilocin, not 4-ACO.
They were both in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like if there is only psilocin, which some of the products did come back as only psilocin, it's like the 4-ACO had deteriorated already into.
Oh, okay, great. So we can talk about all this. I just wanted to make sure that was. I've never heard that. Okay.
Yeah.
Shelby, can you just sort
of
shift
let me think of the.
That's perfect.
So hold on. So
you were talking about
the So some of the products contained only psilocin in there, which I was told by a person who works in a lab that the presence of psilocin only usually means that there was 4-ACO prior, 4-ACO DMT, which is a compound that actually turns into psilocin upon ingestion. So only having psilocin actually indicates the presence of 4-ACO at one point. So we're getting into some weird things. What are they actually? Are we talking about a loophole here? Why is 4-ACO DMT actually on the market? What is 4-ACO DMT? And we were wondering all of these things, and our reporter Webb Wright actually broke it down for us really, really well.
So we'll include the So we'll include the link to that article in the description of this video, as well as DoubleBlind's explainer article on what 4-ACO DMT is. 4-ACO DMT, you know, some reports say that it feels similar to psilocybin.
Yes, in smaller doses. And then bigger doses, people have huge, more DMT-like experiences. Have you ever taken 4-ACO?
I have not. I was gifted some 4-ACO DMT gummies, and I was like, what is this? And I never took them.
Yeah, you know, I think that there's a quality control issue with 4-ACO DMT. I think that it's not all the same. It's not all made the same. Just because you have 4-ACO doesn't mean that it is good 4-ACO. I think some people take it and then they have these crazy experiences. I read on Reddit one time that someone took a bunch of 4-ACO DMT and was like face flat on the ground in front of their TV and then saw like the movie The Ring. It had a ring experience where a girl was like coming out of the TV. So, you know, I don't really...
I mean, to be fair, you can have very, very terrifying experiences on classic psychedelics
on any psychedelic,
too,
yes.
if you know where they're coming from. But yeah, I think that the issue here, the ethical issue here, isn't so much should you do 4-ACO or should you not do 4-ACO.
No.
The issue is that if people do not know what they are buying.
Yes.
And they're having experiences that are completely different than what they could have anticipated. And so sometimes it's 4-ACO, which can feel similar to psilocybin, but sometimes it's really, really high dose cannabis. Sometimes it's mucimol, which is the psychoactive component in Amanita muscaria mushrooms. That feels nothing like psilocybin.
And can also make you really sick.
Sometimes it's blue lotus, which we talk about in other videos, and is a legal psychoactive flower that some people use to make tea and tinctures and other things, but in really high doses can also give you sort of like a sedative effect.
Yeah, it's actually a consent issue. If people are selling shrooms, it should be that's what you're getting, when in reality you're getting an entirely other substance altogether, and that's not cool. That's not cool. That's like drug 101.
Yeah, not cool, people.
Not cool.
Stop doing it. Stop selling it.
It's like the equivalent of drugging someone, and you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So no drugging.
Also, something that was so interesting that I noticed when I went into some of these, what do we call them? Flip-flop sunscreen shroom shops.
Tourist traps.
Tourist traps. Was some brand names of underground shroom products that I recognized. For example, Polka Dot, which is one of the most well-known underground shroom brands.
Chocolate bars.
And as it turned out, they were not polka dot chocolate shroom bars. They were, what do we call them when someone buys like a fake Louis Vuitton bag? It was like a wannabe.
A knockoff?
A knockoff.
Yeah.
It was a polka dot knockoff.
You know, there's a lot. I mean, we could probably do a whole video about the polka dot knockoff in general, because like, does polka dot even exist today? Is there ever a real polka dot chocolate bar or bag of gummies? Like, who even knows? I don't even think there is anymore. Who knows?
Yeah. So this is all to say, as we say in all of our videos, education is really important. Knowing your source is really important. And, you know, I'm not going to say every single product that is at a brick and mortar that anyone can walk into doesn't have psilocybin, is going to make you sick, is going to give you a bad trip, because it's impossible to know. There's so much going on. I mean, there's also, gas stations that are selling weird psychoactives. Some of them
Yeah.
are involved, like Feel Free, this shot with kratom and and kava is in a class action lawsuit now. They were literally like sitting next to the Bic the Bic lighters at the checkout. I mean, I shouldn't be laughing, but it's just absurd. I mean,
when you're looking at psychoactives that are sitting next to the gas station boner pills, just don't buy them.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Do not do it.
Yeah, or buy both if you want to have a really unpredictable night.
It's really up to you.
Yeah, and then I think I want to talk a little bit as well about kind of the emergence of the Shroom dispensary, so to speak, and Shroom churches and Shroom websites. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff beyond gas stations, bodegas, and, places that sell just all kinds of stuff and also shrooms. There's also a lot of places now that are emerging, many of which are in decriminalized jurisdictions. We can talk about that in a moment, that are only selling shrooms and kind of branding themselves as like a legal or quasi-legal shroom brick and mortar.
Yeah, yes. You can, where are these places, you ask, Shelby? Oakland is one of them. Oakland is one of them. San Francisco is also another one.
Yeah.
Where else? Where else have you heard of these places? I've heard of a few on the East Coast.
Yeah.
DC-ish area.
Yeah. I've heard of some in DC. Oh yeah, Canada.
Canada, yes.
So
in BC, British Columbia.
Yeah. So maybe we should we
say that again?
retake that part?
No, it's okay.
Oh no, we're good?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, great.
What about Washington, Oregon? What happened with Oregon?
Well, yes.
Oh yeah, there was that place that was getting all the attention with the billboard in Portland.
Wait, I don't know.
That was dumb of them. That was years ago. A couple years ago, DoubleBlind reported on it. The owner ended up getting arrested because they had people lining up around the block. They had a billboard.
God.
Come on, people.
Oh man.
You're really making us all look bad.
Oh man. That's bad.
Nice things.
Truly.
Yeah.
But I would say ultimately that one of the benefits of potentially walking into an establishment like that is that often you are able to look at the raw material of mushrooms that you would theoretically like to leave with. So that helps you eliminate the chances of getting products that have 4-ACO, not psilocybin, etc. You're gonna you kind of know what you're getting when you go into an establishment like that.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, the safest way to go is the raw product because you know what it is.
Absolutely.
there's no trickery with, there's no such thing as a mushroom that looks like a mushroom that's not a mushroom, as far as I'm aware.
I mean, who knows? We're heading into a weird age, but yes,
Unless
I agree.
you're foraging, and we have other videos on that.
Don't forage.
Don't forage.
Don't forage unless
you're with a mycologist.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, what else do we want to say about this? Well, there's the Shroom churches. Zydor.
Yeah, well, that's what I was referring to mostly. Should we talk about that?
Oh, okay, yeah. So there's places that are kind of more like dispensaries that are brick and mortars that just sell shrooms, and then there's also places that are claiming that they are sort of protected by the First Amendment because they're kind of like pseudo churches or religious organizations, and they say, oh well, we're using shrooms are our sacrament.
Yes.
And some of them even have, texts and things to try and sort of, religious texts to try and sort of bolster this argument that they're protected by the First Amendment. Mm-hmm. And the most famous one is called Zydor. Mm-hmm. They have, I think, 2 locations in Oakland and in San Francisco. And you could Google it. They've gotten a lot of press.
They've gotten a lot of press. They've gotten a ton of press. I actually wrote about them for DoubleBlind in 2020, I think.
Yes.
Maybe 20. I think 2020.
They've gotten a lot of press because they have
They got rated.
They got rated and they also
in 2020.
And they also have like thousands of members. I don't remember how many, but I want to say like 10,000, 15, some crazy number of members.
It's like a lot of members.
Yeah.
It's more than 10,000, I believe.
Right. So let's just say all those people aren't actually going to church.
Who's to say, Shelby?
Who's to say? Something that's really important when you're having a psychedelic experience is feeling like you can relax and surrender into the experience itself. And if a person bought something and they don't know what that thing is, or they don't fully trust where they got it from, then it's going to be very difficult to do that, especially if the person is, let's say, well, if it's shrooms, the trip lasts 4 to 6, sometimes 8 hours. Let's say you're an hour in and you start feeling, the person starts feeling something that is just strange. It's just not what they expected to feel, right? Well, if they know that it came from a reliable source, then, you know, whatever it is, and that's just a part of the experience. But, you know, if they bought it from some dude on the Venice boardwalk who said, buy shrooms here next to the flip-flops, and you're feeling like really nauseous, or the person has a headache or whatever's going on, then potentially you're going to be in your head like, is this what I thought that it was? And that's really going to prevent the person from being able to just relax and get the most out of the experience. So, you know, that's why it's just worth it to go the extra mile. And of course, to keep tabs on sort of the evolving political landscape, as well as what the laws are in your area, if you're in a decriminalized jurisdiction versus if you're not. All of that, right, is relevant.
Yes, absolutely. Knowing your source, knowing your dealer, it's a adage as old as time at this point. Mm-hmm. And that's really the only way to stay safe. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And testing your drugs, but you know, it's a little difficult with gummies, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, there are some laboratories now that allow people to send samples in, and there's been some shroom testing kits that I've seen that have come out, but I don't, it's not really a thing. Like,
well, it's a little difficult if you get your mushrooms and then you want to take your mushrooms, but then you're going to send them to some kind of lab to get tested before you take them. Like, we're talking about like an 8-week experience of waiting for the test results. You know, it doesn't lend itself to getting the mushrooms and taking the mushrooms, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
you know, yeah.
I think that's all on this one.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, be safe, guys. And if you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.